Good evening and welcome. Tonight we're going to have a little bedtime story with this book. It's called I Am Wolayta or Tani Wolayta. And it's by Manya Hilishal Madebo. This book was very kindly gifted to my channel by Jean-Marie. Thank you so much, Jean-Marie. I have an Amazon wish list down in the description there for books you could donate to my channel. She donated a book that we're going to see a little bit later in a couple weeks, but she included this one as a nice little surprise bonus, and it's absolutely perfect since I was just about to start filming videos on Ethiopia when I received it. So thank you so much, Jean-Marie. I adore this book, and I can't wait to show it to you all. So let's just dive right in. I Am Wolayta. Get to the beginning of our story. Meet Ziko. Yes. Saro Aimale, or hello. It's nice to meet you. My name is Ziko, and I am a 14-year-old girl who lives in the Wolayta Sodo of southern Ethiopia. My village is about 248 miles southwest of Ethiopia's capital city, Addis Ababa. I would love to tell you about how my people, the Wolayta, celebrate our culture by spreading our music, dances, and food throughout Ethiopia. My people make me proud, and I want to share our culture with you. I hope that if you are also Wolayta, you will proudly tell others by simply using the simple phrase, Tani Wolayta, or I am Wolayta. This is my book, and I hope that it will be your book as well. Wolayta, my language, and my people. Ethiopia is home to numerous people who belong to different ethnic groups that all speak various languages. Wolayta speak their own language known as the Wolayta language or Wolaytatua. According to a recent estimate, over 2 million people speak the Wolayta language. One of my favorite words in the Wolayta language is ziko, or love. Yes, my name actually means love. The Wolayta language has existed in the written form since the 1940s, first using Sabaean script. Since 1991, it has used the Latin alphabet. All Wolayta words and phrases used in this book are written using the Latin alphabet and have a phonetic pronunciation. My village. I live in Konto, a beautiful small village located about a 35-minute walk from the town of Sodo, which is the capital of the Wolayta zone. People call us Kontonata, or Konto's children. There are several districts in the Wolayta zone, and Konto is in the Sodo Zuria Woreda. The people in my village work as farmers or merchants who sell food and other goods. Since we live so close to Sodo, some people in my village often go there to sell goods. If you know which Woreda you're from, you can tell people Tani Sodo Zuria Peyas, which means I am from the Sodo Zuria Woreda, and name your Woreda. Welcome to my family's house. Most Wolayta families live in traditional huts called kita. These houses are constructed by skilled builders with the support of a local social group. The size of the house depends on the number of people in the family, the numbers of cattle the family owns, and the amount of money the owner or family has. Come inside, su gelite. If you come to visit my home, I would greet you with Hashshu Sasu Sarawi Data, or welcome to my home. Greetings are an extremely important form of respect and courtesy. One is expected to greet a passerby, even if she or he is a stranger, perhaps by saying Sarai Male, or how are you? Inside, the house is partitioned to accommodate a kitchen, a dining room, a bedroom, and space for livestock. People in rural Wolayta often bring their livestock into their homes to protect them from godaria, or hyenas. In my house, I live with brothers, sisters, extended family members, and our cattle. My family. Like many households in Konto, I come from a big family. I am the youngest of 10 siblings with 3 sisters and 6 brothers. Most of my siblings are much older than I am, so they are not living with us at home. They have moved out of the house and are living their own lives. Only my 2 brothers, Wegayehu and Lule, are still living in the house with us. I spend most days playing with them. They like playing with me for the most part, but my immediate older brother, Lule, doesn't like it when someone touches his stuff, and I always touch and snatch his stuff, like a true little sister. It is nice knowing that my brother, Wegayehu, sides with me whenever I get into a fight with Lule. I guess you can say that is a perk of being the youngest child. I am fascinated by my brothers, and anything they do interests me. I love asking them about the books they are reading and listening to them sing. Our elder brothers and sisters visit us during the Mescal festival, which is my favorite time of the year. I especially look forward to seeing my sister Mesti's beautiful straight hair when she comes to visit. I've always dreamed of having my hair straightened like hers. My parents have always enjoyed having all the kids around for the Mescal holiday. A lot of the household chores lie on my mother, so she is usually busy with those. In addition to cooking and caring for children, she sometimes helped my father with farming. Even though she's had a very hard life, she never complains. She always looks happy and encourages me to smile all the time. She says, "Achi meketa," or teeth is bone, to emphasize that it doesn't hurt to smile. My mom is a very generous woman who loves sharing. My mother is a housewife who never attended a formal school. She can't write or read except for her name. However, she understands the importance of education and always encourages us to go to school and to do our homework. After attending school during the day and helping my mom with household chores in the evening, I stay up late doing homework. At night, I'm afraid to be by myself because the kerosene lamp does not light up the whole house, and the dark spot underneath the table scares me. So my mother stays up with me most nights while I'm doing my homework. My father was a strict disciplinarian who told us that we can't miss school and church on Sunday. We have to pray before every meal and take part in Bible study every Sunday night, which my father used to lead. Unlike my mother, my father was formally educated and was very knowledgeable. He always told us to respect elders, be good to everyone, and be on time for everything. I remember that elders from the community often came to our house seeking advice from my father. He was known as a seer and informed the community about the future. Following his death, his name still comes up whenever an event he foresaw occurs. Kitchens are where we talk. It's a cute picture of her. I love sitting in the kitchen with my mom and helping her cook food for my family. Families in rural Wolayta usually gather in the kitchen around the fire and share stories. When we gather, my mom talks about her life experience, our culture, and our social responsibility, along with the local news. Kids also share their day's activities. My father didn't sit around the kitchen fire, but he was always there after a long day working on our farm. Anehaseos means let's talk. Shopping at the market. On Saturdays, I go with my mom to the market, Gia, closest to my village at Sodo Town, Sorokira. When we are there, I help my mom carry or pick food items we need and buy clothes as well as salt, maxinia, and gasoline, lamba. Most people there speak Amharic, but most of them speak Wolayta. If you wanted to buy salt, you would ask, Maxinia ima? Spinning cotton. Look at Mom go. Like most Wolayta families, my mom spins cotton by hand. Once she spins it, she gives it to a local weaver who creates a woven cloth called a fala. This is used to create traditional dresses for girls and women, as well as blankets, gabia, and scarves, naksala. We wear these clothes for special occasions that make my friends and family look beautiful. While the Ethiopian flag is green, yellow, and red, the colors that the Wolayta wear to showcase their heritage are red, black, and yellow. Time to eat. Look at all this yummy food. When it's time to eat, my mom calls us to gather around the food by saying, Natokumegakis. The Wolayta people eat a variety of food, including cassava, yams, sweet potatoes, boina, which is edo root, chickens, milk, butter, eggs, coffee, bananas, oranges, maize, barley porridge, and sorghum. Eating together from the same plate is a tradition for families, although exceptions may be made for family members based on age and health conditions. Celebrating traditions. During special occasions such as Mescal, Christmas, and weddings, special food like muchchua made from dried false banana flour, butter, and spices, and homemade cheeses are served to those celebrating. How we pray. Like many Ethiopians, the Wolayta are a people of deep religious faith, helping us come together during holidays. I go to church or wusakita every Sunday with my mom. In Wolayta, different religious groups live together in peace and harmony. The games we play. Kasa. My favorite part of the day is playing with my friends Kuri, Nunu, and Tadelech. Tadelech, whose nickname is Tade, is my best friend. She's also my relative and lives next door, so I hang out with her every day. She's a very courageous girl who is not scared of the dark, heavy rain, or even fighting with boys. Sometimes she and I fight over games, but we always come together the next day as if nothing happened. I think that's Tate there, next to Ziko. In Konto, we don't have many toys and gadgets to play with, so we make up games or use different items around us as toys. Most of the time, girls and boys play in different groups. However, one game both boys and girls play together is called Husband and Wife. In this game, simply being a boy does not mean he's the husband. Each child gets a turn to be husband, wife, child, or elder. I prefer to be the husband because the husband has no responsibilities with household chores. The husband just sits in a chair and is served fake foods and made from mud, whereas the wife takes care of the children and makes food. I started laughing because that reminds me of how I used to play house with my friends in elementary school all the time. It was just like this. Another activity I enjoy is sliding down the hill and seeing who gets down first. We also play rock pebbles by throwing a rock in the air and trying to balance it on our hands without letting it touch the ground. What dads and moms do. My mom and dad's different functions in our family are based on very traditional rules. Wolayta men tend to the livestock or farm crops. We're lucky to have a few oxen and cows and grow false bananas or uta, maize, beans, and other vegetables, including greens and cabbage. While my dad and my brothers work outside, my mom and I cook inside. Wolayta men don't cook, but they do other work. Respecting our elders. Wolayta people greatly respect the elders in their community. Elders' years of experience are viewed as very valuable for assisting the community in making sound decisions. Their wisdom helps settle issues between people and helps families with their problems. They also offer support when needed and are honored during our holiday events. My mom always tells me to shake elders' hands with 2 hands and look to the ground to show respect. Going to school. This is such a sweet little... In most cases, many children begin schooling at the age of 7. However, proving their age is difficult. In many rural areas of the Wolayta zone, children are born in their family's house without medical staff, so they lack a birth certificate to prove their age. To address this issue, school administrators might ask a child to touch his or her ear with the opposite hand crossing the head. If the child can touch their ear, they are allowed to enter the school. That's so cute. Here we go. Girls are traditionally not encouraged to attend school and urged to help their moms with household chores instead. A girl's daily activities would include fetching drinking water from a nearby spring, collecting firewood and cattle fodder, cooking, and shopping. As the youngest child in my family, I am in charge of helping my mom with all household chores. However, nowadays girls are going to school in greater numbers than when my mom was a girl. I'm lucky to attend school at a nearby Catholic girls' school in Konto. Proximity of the village to more urban areas help the children attend schools and then go off to college. I like her hair in this picture. It's really neat. Changing a painful practice for girls. Many older girls and women, including my mother, faced a traditional practice where portions of a girl's anatomy were removed from between her legs with a sharp cutting instrument. My mother and grandmother viewed this as a clearing process that would make girls wait until marriage to bear children. While there are some girls who still face this practice, it is viewed as painful, unnecessary, and could put a girl's life in danger. I know how it feels because the circumcision happened to me when I was 7 years old, and the painful memory will stay with me the rest of my life. Thankfully, many families are stopping that tradition with the help of government policies and better education. Wolayta banking. Women are a part of the shufua system, which is a traditional banking system to save cash or in-kind payments of goods. The members of the community save money for different purposes. As part of the Mescal celebration, families use this saved money to buy new clothes for children. It can also be used to help buy school supplies, cover wedding costs, build a new house, or maintain an existing home. In-kind banking refers to the women gathering goods at a time of need for families by collecting essentials such as butter and cotton spinning thread. My mom collects the money and coordinates shufua for special occasions. Saving cash is practiced by both men and women, whereas in-kind saving is only practiced by women. Unique Wolayta community help. Wolayta men and women support one another through 3 different community mechanisms. The first includes people who belong to Idiria. These members contribute a fixed amount of money on a weekly basis and only take out this money for burial and funeral costs for themselves and or family members. Members also support each other during hardships by providing free labor services. Shocha is a community mutual help group that provides specific support in kind for families in events of distress such as funerals, natural disasters, and man-made disasters. I remember that when I lost my dad, our neighbors completed all our household chores for 4 days and brought cooked food to us for a prolonged period of time. Yesa is an individual cash offering for families for a joyful event, such as a wedding, home construction or maintenance, or childbirth. The men-only community group. The only community support association that women are not allowed to participate in is Dagua. The idea behind a Dagua is to ease or minimize the time taken to accomplish a certain task. It is a voluntarily formed team that provides workers to other community members to assist with planting, harvesting, digging, and house construction or maintenance. The group has binding internal rules that govern how the team provides the service to each member. My dad was an active participant of Dagua, and the team members helped my mom after the death of my dad. Mescal, our biggest holiday. September marks the end of heavy rains and the beginning of a new season. Mescal is the time of year when the sun shines all day long, creating an atmosphere of amazing clarity and fresh, clean air. The hilltops turn gold as the mescal flowers, Mescala chisha, bloom in all their beauty. I love celebrating Mescal with my friends and family. It is celebrated all over Ethiopia, but it's special for Wolayta people because it is also our New Year's Day. A few weeks before Mescal, boys collect special Mescal firewood called gulia and build bonfires at their respective homesteads. On September 27th, elders ignite the gulia in every village. Young men rotate around the fire, chanting Wolayta songs of the Mescal season, Hayaya Lekker. As a young girl in the community, I perform beautiful cultural dances with my friends and engage in feasts throughout the week. The most loved food of the Wolayta people is gaya ashua, raw meat, which is prepared and served to family members for Mescal. Groups of 6 to 12 households or neighboring families save money toward the purchase of a fattened ox, maskalabura, for the celebrations. The slaughtering process happens outside one of the elders' houses. They are eating some food. Big old bonfire there. Medicine, tsalia. Wolayta prefer traditional medicine or healers before going to health centers. Medicinal plants are important as the main source of medicine in our healthcare system of Wolayta communities. They are widely used in the treatment of numerous human and livestock diseases in different areas of Wolayta. The dosage of herbal preparations that are considered harmless depends on the interest and or the capacity of the patient to chew a particular plant for a given health problem, such as eating cooked solanum, sodomeum leaf, or santapulua to get relief from the flu. Visits to health centers are reserved for serious cases, but minor illnesses are mostly treated at home. Different kinds of herbs are used to remedy stomach aches, digestion problems, diabetes, and skin care, for example. For dislocation of knees, ankles, elbows, jaws, hips, fingers, or toes, patients visit a traditional physiotherapist, or hila. Helas massage the affected part of the body using butter and relocate the misshaped part. The dislocated joint may go back into place naturally after this treatment. A hila may use may also use bamboo to tie the affected part for several weeks, which acts as a cast. My mom was a fan of traditional medicine and herbs that my family often used for relief from the common cold or flu. Circle mark. Bakia. One traditional way rural Wolayta people attempt to cure illness, especially eye pain relief, is with a circle mark called bakia. This is accomplished by starting a fire using the friction of dried sticks and lumbered wood. Once the flame starts, the burning stick is placed on the side of the eye. Using bakia as eye pain relief is very common, but it is also used on the abdomen for stomach aches and on arms for muscle aches, for example. The Wolayta people also put bakia on their cheeks or forehead for eye pain relief. Due to the growing nature of modern medicine, this practice is now rare. I don't have bakia on any part of my body, but my aunt has one on the side of her eye. Let's see, right there. And, I have chronic migraines. Sometimes doing something like this sounds like a great idea, so I don't really cringe at this idea. The last Wolayta king. My mom is known by the nickname Kawobie, since she is from Kawotona's clan. Kawobie means princess or king's daughter. My mom explained to us how she is related to King Tona and his heroism. She told us that Kawotonya Gaga, the last king of the Wolayta kingdom, was one of the greatest warriors and the most powerful of the Wolayta kings. His army fought back King Menelik's forces 6 times before falling to Menelik's combined forces in 1896. There are stories that suggest that Kawotona was defeated because of a spy mobilized from the Wolayta community, who shared the most important information about the Wolayta community. Wolayta people would die for their wives, children, and cattle. If something bad happens to them, they will give up fighting. Based on this information, Menelik's army lit Wolayta houses and property on fire. As the news of the fires got to the battlefield, many of the Wolayta fighters returned to care for their families, cattle, and properties. That was how Kawotona was wounded and captured by the Menelik force. Wolayta was then incorporated into the Ethiopian Empire. However, Wolayta had a form of self-administrative status and was ruled by governors directly accountable to the king until the fall of Emperor Haile Selassie in 1974. Marriage. There are different types of marriage in Wolayta. Traditional marriages are arranged by the groom and bride's family. This arranged marriage practice is no longer a common practice. Abduction or dafa marriage takes place without the woman's consent. A man asks a girl to marry him, and if she refuses, he starts stalking her and makes plans to marry her by force. With the help of his friends, he takes the girl into his house by coercion. After the abduction, the elders are chosen by the groom's family to settle the issue peacefully. My older sister, Mare, was the victim of marriage by abduction. Laba means lobbying in the Wolayta language. In this case, the man approaches the best friend of a girl and asks her to convince the girl to marry him. Afterwards, the marriage takes place with the consent of both parties. Childbirth. Look at that. So cute. In Wolayta culture, women are expected to give birth to their first child at their parents' home. My sister Tringo moved home 1 month before the birth of her newborn. The rationale behind this practice is for mothers to share their experience with child care and breastfeeding skills. She stayed with us for about 2 to 3 months after the delivery of her baby. Sister looks like Ziko. And such a cute, I can't get over how cute that baby is. So sweet. Mourning Yehua. The celebration of the dead is a long process in Wolayta culture. As soon as a death is announced by a group of elders or respected community members, people gather at the deceased's home to comfort the grieving family. Families are expected to express their grief openly. Usually they cry, wail loudly, call out the name of the deceased, and beat their foreheads and chests. Female relatives may scratch their faces, throw themselves to the ground, and attempt to harm themselves as a manifestation of intense grief. However, this intense grieving practice is becoming less common. For instance, the mourning of my father was a very calm church ceremony. Family and friends may also chant songs and tell stories about the deceased. This practice of chanting and praising is known as zilasa. The death of a community member shows how Wolayta organize as a community. Neighbors help with setting up rooms, looking after guests, digging a burial site, and preparing the casket. Neighbors and relatives or Idir members organize materials required for the event, such as chairs, tables, cookware, and blankets. Looks like there's a service happening right here. Burial. Mungua. Only children under the age of 1 are buried on the same day. For anyone older than that, the burial takes place on the 3rd day, sometimes even longer for adults. The typical practice is 3 days of mourning for women and 4 days of mourning for men. The burial site, Dufua, is usually near a church compound or in a local cemetery. The deceased may be buried in a location of their choice or in a place that is meaningful to the family, such as with their ancestors in the backyard. Places to visit in Wolayta. Wolayta has a lot of tourist attractions. Ajora Falls is the region's most popular and inspiring site, with its beautiful double waterfalls of the Soke and Ajancho rivers. I visited Ajora Falls for the first time with my brother Deneke when he came to visit us. Wolayta also features different historical rock shelters or small caves, which are large holes that were formed by the people for protection from enemies. A large number of these caves are situated in the mountains of the Omo Valley. Today's Wolayta. In my village of Kanto, people no longer walk long distances on foot. A modern road network now connects all woredas and towns. Sodo Town is among the few towns in the region endowed with good infrastructure. It includes an extensive asphalt road network, hydroelectric power, piped water supply, modern telephone access, and banking, educational, and health facilities. Residents surrounding the town use 3-wheel automobiles called bajaj, as well as motorcycles and bicycles to get around. Really lovely roundabout there. The big long road. Today, most Wolayta people prefer to build their homes with iron corrugated roof panels. This may be due to a shortage of grass to cover the roof, like a traditional house. The iron corrugated roof panel houses offer simplicity and durability and also take a very short time to construct. In fact, my brother rebuilt our house with iron corrugated roof panels while he was serving in the military. Wolayta's role in Ethiopia. Wolayta people play a significant role in the politics and economy of Ethiopia. The previous Prime Minister of Ethiopia, His Excellency Haile Mariam Desalegn, was from the Wolayta ethnic group. A lot of Wolaytans are represented in the regional, state, and federal government. There are also individuals who support other legally registered opposition political parties. Most of the Wolayta people are knowledgeable about Ethiopian, African, and world politics. Conclusion. My people, thank you for reading about my story and my culture. Wolayta has a rich history, and I have shared with you some pieces of that history and the culture of our people. It is my hope that this book offers a brief glimpse into the Wolayta people and our beautiful culture. Wolaytans express their beliefs, values, norms, traditions, politics, and economic status in various ways, one of which is song. Wolayta music plays a prominent role in national entertainment in Ethiopia and is used to bring our people together at a time of happiness, grief, or celebration. I have discussed taboo practices and norms in the Wolayta culture. Practices like abduction and arranged marriage are not common practices anymore thanks to new laws, community awareness and education, and women empowerment initiatives. However, female circumcision continues in rural Wolayta districts but is not common. Bakia is another practice that is becoming less common. You might see some Wolaytans that have bakia, or circle body marks on the side of their face, but that most likely happened many years ago. The expansion of health services and increased community awareness has helped do away with many of these practices. Due to urban expansion and shortage of farmland in Wolayta, most of the young population is migrating to bigger cities in search of a better life. However, there are also individuals involved in small-scale business activities, such as manufacturing locally available products, construction, trade, service, and urban agriculture sectors. As previously discussed, Wolayta has a strong social network actively participating in mutual help associations. The Wolayta people are known for their humble personalities, friendly approaches, and hospitality. Social media has a tremendous role in today's Wolayta, strengthening social connections and networking. Due to the influence of globalization and the aspiration to follow the West, local lifestyles continue to evolve. And that's the end of our book tonight. Wasn't that great? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again to Jean-Marie for sending this book my way. I'm really glad for that. I hope you found this video relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a very good night. Good night.